Hello, 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 and welcome to my weekly Yummy Money webinar. Karen Jones here, pointofview.me.com. How's everybody doing today? It is a beautiful day. Spring has sprung, thank God, in Seoul, Korea, in Korea pretty much everywhere, and I'll vouch for that by talking to my dear friend Nate Kent, who is back with us this week. Hi, Nate.
I had so much fun last week, and you said I could come back, so...
Yay! I'm so glad that you had the time and that you're here with
Yes.
us again. This is truly an abundant moment having Nate with us here today. That obviously is why you're here, because you're part of the abundance of me being here in Korea. if I say so selfishly.
Yes, it is indeed a gorgeous day down here as well, and I've sorted out a little bit the background and the clothing, so I'm set.
So where are you?
I'm in Gwangju, which is currently about a 3-hour train ride south of Seoul, high-speed train, and starting next month, they're going to have it down to an hour and a half, so...
Fabulous. That means that
we could do this next time from my house.
Yes, exactly. Woohoo! Yes. So today the question is: Are you living an abundant life? I think that this is a great topic because a lot of times we get so stuck in a scarcity mentality in our world today. People focus on that, and when you focus on something, guess what happens? It persists, it continues, that becomes your focus, and you can't really see anything else because then you put those lovely blinders on because you've made a decision or you've defined a moment as being that and that only, and that's all you're going to see. Voila, that is the magic of the universe, right? Okay, so we're going to jump into reading pretty quickly so that we can have more fun just talking about this and talk about what we've read, and then I've got some questions, and Nate has some questions too, and we're going to, let's say, as they say in Italian, stuzzicare, which means that we're going to poke you a little bit and see what comes up through you so that you can let go of all of your limitations and flourish much more in your life around what abundance means to you, because it really is, everyone does have their own idea or definition or point of view, if you will, about what abundance is. Okay, so let's get reading. Let's get this screen share. Oops, I hit the wrong button. There we go, screen share. Yes, you can come up now. There it is. Okay, start screen share, please. Now there we go. Can you see that, Nate? Present to everyone. Yes, okay, great.
Yes, I can. I had the mute on. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay. So celebrate your abundance. Are you sharing the poverty of the universe instead of its abundance? Some people feel they have received more than their fair share in life, and they live in judgment of themselves because they have more than others. Oh, I have to stop. I'm reading from the book, Money Isn't the Problem, You Are. I'll show that as soon as we finish. But I just wanted to make a plug for Gary Douglas and Dr. Dain Heer from Access Consciousness, okay? So some people feel they have received more than their fair share in life, and they live in judgment of themselves because they have more than others. They were taught that they had to share everything, and nobody's supposed to have more than anyone else. In their family, the pie was cut in equal pieces, except for Dad. He usually got a bigger piece because he was the breadwinner. Sound familiar? I know it sounds like my story. Is it possible that you have bought a similar story? Are you living the equal share reality? Are you sharing the poverty of the universe instead of its abundance? Let me ask you, what's wrong with sharing the abundance of the universe instead of the poverty? Wouldn't you like to give up poverty as the truth of you? Wouldn't you rather share in the vast abundance of the universe? You are a totally abundant person. Have you had lifetimes in which you were filthy rich? Yes, you have. Do you keep wondering, where the hell's the money this lifetime? It was supposed to show up by now, damn it. Have you had lifetimes in which you were totally broke? You bet. How many lifetimes did you only just survive? And are you continuing to merely survive? Are you willing to give up merely surviving as a point of view? So I'm going to just do a quick clearing around that. For those of you who haven't been watching my series, this clearing is kind of like a magical phrase that wipes away the energy around all of the questions that we just asked. So all the questions that we've just asked, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of the points of view that you've concluded around having a lot of money or in those lifetimes and being totally broke in those lifetimes, or merely surviving? And everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate those points of view, please? Thank you. Times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now that clearing statement, ouch, you can go to theclearingstatement.com to get to understand what the heck I was talking about. Okay, great. So let's move on. Get the feeling you've had of, oh my God, I'm barely surviving. Make it infinite, bigger than the universe. You guys doing that? Oh my God, I'm barely surviving. Feel the energy of that. Make it infinite, bigger than the universe. You just have to like expand the energy of whatever that is. I know that kind of like is an abstract concept for a lot of you, but just give it a go. So what happens to it? Does it get more substantial or does it go away? Now, if you're really being aware, it does go away. It goes away, which means it's a lie. You as an infinite being cannot merely survive. You're totally abundant. Now, doesn't that make you feel good? It really does. I mean, it's just, you're totally abundant. It's just real. You know, that's true. This universe, even on planet Earth, is an incredibly abundant place. The only reason there is a bare patch anywhere is because humans have been stupid enough to take everything away from it. Nature will fill every square inch with something. When you go to the desert, is it empty? No. Even in the desert, there's life everywhere. There are plants, bugs, and critters of all kinds. Every square inch is covered with something. How can you live as not abundant? You do it by buying into the idea that there's scarcity. You adopt the point of view that there is no abundance because you aren't able to figure out where it's going to come from. You don't see that abundance is actually all around you. We think, oh, in the future I'll have money, or in the past I used to have money, but we don't see that we are totally abundant now. So everywhere that you've decided that you are not abundant, that abundance avoids you, that you are poor, that you're barely scraping through, everything that is, all of those ideas, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate those now, please? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so are you embracing the idea that money can be here right now? Okay, so close your eyes right now and see money coming at you. Is it coming from the back or the front, from the right or the left, or from the up or the down? Are you guys doing this? Good. If you see money coming from in front of you, the idea is that you're going to have it in the future. But when does the future arrive? Never. You're always looking for money out in front of you. You are like the donkey with the carrot in front of his face. You're always going for a future event. Okay, you can open your eyes, by the way. If you see money coming at you from the right, then the point of view is you've got to work hard for it. If it's coming from the left, the point of view is that it will come as a handout. Somebody's going to give you a handout to get you rich. Did you see it coming from behind you? That means you used to have it, but you ain't going to have it anymore. Now, if you saw it coming from the top, that means you think God's going to give it to you because nobody else will. Did you see it coming from the ground? Then you'd better become a farmer because that's where you think it's going to come from. It's going to grow underneath your feet, or you could go out and become an opal miner and find it that way, or a diamond miner. That would be hard work. Okay, so what would it be like if you let money come to you from all directions? What would it be like if you let money come to you from to you all the time and all directions? Money come, money come, money come, 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 money come, money come, money come, come, come. Get the feeling right now. Now, make that infinite. You guys getting this? Bigger than the universe. If you let money come to you all the time from all directions, does it get more substantial or less? Keep that feeling and you'll have money tomorrow. That's like the money dance that I do. It's like that feeling of, oh, I've got all this money. It is truly a vibration. Now, the idea of this visualization is to get clear about where you think money comes from. If you have the idea that it's going to come from the future, you're not embracing the idea that money can be here right now. If you look at it as tomorrow, 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 then today's bills get paid when? Tomorrow or yesterday, or they don't get paid at all. This keeps you in a cycle of hustling to take care of things instead of being present with what's available to you. If you were truly conscious, if you were in communion with all things, if you were being the humanoid you truly are, and if you were functioning from the aesthetics of time, space, dimensions, and realities in which no judgment can exist, money could simply be part of your life rather than the end all. Really, that's an important phrase. I like that. And money could simply be part of your life rather than the end all. Now, guess what having money is all about? Most people make money the goal, or they make it a need. They say things like, if I only had $1 million, or if I just had $100, or money will make me happy, money will make me joyous, money will make me relax. None of those are real. Those are ideas we have substituted for actually allowing ourselves to have everything that is possible in our lives. Now, when you do that, you're making money into something that's terribly significant, rather than seeing it like a flower that grows in your garden. If you spend as much time nurturing money, feeding it, fertilizing it, watering it, and taking care of it the way you do your flowers, do you think it might grow in your life? Now, I'm not suggesting that you plant money in the ground, but I do know it will work if you think of it in those terms. You have to be able to receive money? Absolutely. You have to be open to receiving. Guess what having money is all about? The ability to receive. So push down those barriers. Every time you go into judgment of anything, you're basically blocking your ability to receive. So when you start to feel like you're putting up barriers, you need to push them down because it's also affecting your money flows. Okay? Just a little addition there. Okay. So what about self-reliance? Some people ask me, what about self-reliance? I ask them back, well, why would you want to be self-reliant? Wouldn't you rather be able to receive everything? All things are possible when you're willing to receive. Most of us have made decisions like, I have to rely on myself, which means we're all alone out there. When you have the idea, I'm self-reliant, I'm all alone, I'm doing it on my own, I'm going to make it on my own, how much help are you willing to receive? None. How much help do you get? None. You're so busy proving you have to do it on your own that you won't let others assist you in creating money. You're doing, I will prove I don't need anybody. I don't care what you say. I don't need you. Go away. Now, this is typical of very independent people. And it's very typical of codependent people because they actually rely on somebody else to do everything for them. It's the same concept, but just directed in a different way. Now, the truth, of course, is that money likes to serve you. It thinks its job is to be your slave. You didn't know that, did you? Money thinks it's supposed to be of service. Someone who is of service is your slave or your servant. Wouldn't you like to give up serving money and let money serve you from now on? Now, everything that doesn't allow that to show up, can we destroy and uncreate it, please? Thank you, times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And there you have it. Like I said, it was going to be brief today. Are we back? Am I back? Yes? Okay. Really, really powerful stuff. This whole idea of abundance and how we see abundance. So, Nate, did you have anything you wanted to say after that really cool chapter on abundance?
Perfect timing for today.
Isn't it funny how that works out?
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a good reminder to be told or to be, I guess, reminded again that we are naturally abundant. Like, being abundant is, yeah, it's just a state of being that we sort of have to limit by our choices instead of just being that. So, yeah, that's a good reminder. And
Yes.
also, about, like, playing with money or sort of asking money to come, as you said, and also that money would like to serve us. And yeah, so just a lot of good reminders today.
Yes, the whole seduction, the seduction of money. I sang that little tune in between, money come, money come, money come, 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 money come, money come. And I sing that in my head every once in a while. But as a singer, of course, I love the idea of singing it here. But it also is a reminder that, hey, you know, you got to invite it. You got to seduce it. If you
Yeah.
don't ask for it to come, it's not going to come. It's going to be like, oh, you don't want me around, do you?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
if you don't like it or you think it's dirty or you don't, this sounds maybe a little bit weird, but I remember years ago, even before I took an access class, there was a girl who like treated her money with respect. Like she would carefully put it in her wallet. She would never crumple it up or wrinkle it or like stuff it in a pocket. Like she's like, yeah, because if you respect money, like it'll treat you well. And it was just a very interesting way to look at it then. And now I have an even better kind of understanding of where she was coming from with that. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. That was a really, I mean, some people, I remember a movie where someone was like ironing money, like
I don't know
ironing
which
it
one.
and
Yeah.
getting it in nice little piles. I mean, it was a total appreciation of the beauty of money.
Yeah. Yeah, so here, one of the things I guess that I have done after taking some classes is I carry around more money than I probably ever would have carried before. And I have like in my wallet, I like the front fold, which is the money I use, and the back fold, which is a large bill in the currency of countries I've been to, plus like a couple $100 in Korean. And I just always have it there. And it's so nice because it changes my point of view about using money and having money because there are a couple times when I've been out and I've gone into what I used to be sort of the like, oh shit, I don't have any money, to the confidence of like, yeah, I got this, I got it. So
Isn't
yeah,
that extraordinary? You know, a lot of people think, oh, I couldn't do that because I barely squeak through. But really, the one of the things that I've been asking people to do is to put 10% of whatever they make away. And that's whatever you make all the time. So if you have Christmas money, put 10% away, or Hanukkah money, or whatever. Someone gives you a gift, you get a tip. I get tips. I put 10% of whatever tip I make, I put away. It is important to start to just create it. And as you start to create it, you'll start to feel less and less worry around money
yeah,
because you have it, you know,
yeah.
right?
When
Because
that
yeah, so,
the bank number starts to climb a little bit, or you have like a fat envelope of 50s in your house, you get a almost a little bit cocky, but it's it's kind of it gives you that confidence of like, yeah, I got it.
right, absolutely. It's remarkable. I think Gary says that after Gary Douglas. Oh, here's the book again. Money Isn't the Problem. You Are. Great book. You can go to accessconsciousness.com. You could go to pointofviewpointofme.com. I also have a link from my website to get this book. It'll take you straight there. These are the two wizards that have been guiding and assisting and coaching and teaching many people around the world, because they are certainly global, um, to remove remove the limitations and better their lives. And actually, one of the greatest things is to let people know that they know more than they're willing to allow themselves to know. You know, you actually do have so much more information that is accessible to you just because of your own, let's call it intuition. People like to call it intuition, but it's truly your knowing. I like that word a lot. It's just a
Yeah.
strong word. So once you start having, let's say, if you pay rent or if you have a mortgage, if you have like I think up to 8 months already in your bank account that you have that money, there's
Right.
just like the sense of ah,
Yeah.
total relax.
Because you're covered. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if something does happen or something comes up, unexpected or whatever, then you don't have that desperation and you're able to operate more from the abundance and from the confidence and the comfort of having that there. And it it changes your point of view about what's going on. It also changes the energy that you come from. And everybody prefers to work with someone who's not desperate. Like, like, I guess with relationships, like when you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, it's so much easier to meet people because you're already being abundant, you have the relationship. Whereas when you're single and you're like really searching for someone, girls can smell it. You're desperate.
Right.
So
Right, you're giving off that desperate air. Nobody wants to be around people who are desperate.
not even money.
Same thing, even more.
Yeah.
Because money is really one of the largest prejudices, even more than racism, on this planet. Because money, if you don't have money, or if you have money, if you don't have money, you are judged immediately based on how much money you have.
Sure. And if you have money, nobody cares what race you are.
That is correct.
That gets over racism.
It's true. It's true. I've seen it. I've watched it happen, actually. So the whole idea of abundance in and of itself, the meaning of abundance. I love the example of being out in nature, because it really is the greatest example of abundance. This planet, we put our planet through hell, as humankind puts this planet through terrible things, and we think, oh my God, how's the planet going to make it? The planet will kick us off in an instant, and we'll be fine with all the crap that we've been doing to it. I mean, it always makes me think of that example of like New York City and the concrete. I grew up in New York, and you can be walking down a very concrete-filled area, which is most of New York, and you will always see little weeds pushing through the cracks.
Yes.
That awareness that this is man-made, but this is the real abundance. The universe is constantly replenishing and growing, and it's infinite. And we, in our little minds, have a tendency to constantly contain everything. And that containment, it kind of like suffocates your abundance. Your abundance is like, hey, we want abundance. We have the dance for you here. Instead, you keep containing us in this box of, oh, I just have enough. This is enough. I can make it like this. And as soon as you have that thought, that's what you create. And abundance is like the dance is out the door.
Yeah. And also the limitations that we put on abundance, like we're only allowed to be abundant in this area, or we're only allowed to be abundant through certain avenues. And like you talked about self-reliance versus receiving, is so many times you could be so much more abundant if you would receive what is available to you, whatever avenues it comes through. But having the limitations of saying, like, I'll allow myself to be abundant if it's through my job or my paycheck, or if it's through, like, whatever you've decided is allowed to be abundant, and then you look around at other people who are being abundant and you judge the way that they've sort of received their abundance. Like, oh, well, they were born into it, or, oh, well, they're just good looking, or, whatever it is. Like, hot girls, they get so much easy stuff.
Right.
You always have these judgments about the way that people are being abundant, and judgments about how you will allow yourself to be abundant. So you're really putting the limitations there on abundance, which by definition is limitless. Like, it's just abundance.
Right. Right, and abundance can come to you in all directions, as we were reading. A lot of people think that like it's only through hard work, because that's what they were taught. You buy into the idea, if you work hard and you focus, and as many people here in Korea do, they work like 12-hour days. It's like, really? Why? Where's the fun? Right? It should be affundance. Affundance would be a fun word.
Would be, yeah.
There's no fun. Right. So we buy into the idea, and in the society, in most of societies around the world, that you have to work hard. You have to put in lots of hours and hours. And what I've noticed is a lot of people working hard, they make the money and they don't really enjoy it, and then they get cancer and die, like my father, for example. Where's the abundance in that? So abundance can come to you in all directions. It's not necessarily going to, if you allow yourself to receive it, once again, you have to be willing to receive from everywhere, because magic is happening all the time. But you have to acknowledge the magic. When the magic happens, you have to go, whoa, that was magic, yeah. And so the magic is like, oh, you want more magic? We'll give you more magic. You have to acknowledge the abundance, because it is constantly there for you. But if you have the idea that it can only come in this direction, it can only come from my father and my inheritance. It can only come from working 12-hour, 18-hour days, insanity. It can only come from the earth. It can only come from my farm. So that if money wants to come from you in any other way, it can't get to you. You won't receive it. Okay? I come back to the Star Trek example of barriers down. You have to push those barriers down. Anytime you go into judgment, you are blocking your receiving. Okay? You cannot receive. It is impossible. It is a law of the universe. Okay? This huge playground that we're living in is a playground. And you get to determine through your choices how your playground is going to look, what it's going to smell like, what it's going to feel like, and how abundant it's going to be. But that abundance is there. Go ahead, sweetie. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So what I was going to talk about was, you said acknowledging the places where you've created the magic and where you've received the abundance and where you've been willing to create that and then receive it, but the acknowledging it and saying like, oh, that's what I've created, what's it going to take for more of that, instead of dismissing it as being lucky or whatever. And so it just, for me, I was mentally going back to those places where I've created some incredible, like, amazing stuff and then just dismissed it, or like, I sat down for beers with a guy randomly that I knew through another connection, and I was bitching about my job, and he's like, oh, I like the way you think, you should come interview with us in California for E-Trade. He works for E-Trade, and this was like before they were huge. He's like, you should come and work for E-Trade, we love the way you think, let's do that. And I was like, that sounds great, but instead I'm going to go do this other thing, which is much more like acceptable to my family. It's back in the hometown area. It's like, and I totally just dismissed the magic that I had created in this serendipitous having a beer with a guy who liked me. Like, just. So what's it going to take to recreate that? And what's it going to take to acknowledge the places where I've been that and done that and doing it again? Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get back. Let's say you're like, well, that was silly. You know, we have the thing in Access, there are stupid moments, and we all have stupid moments, and it's just basically being unaware. And it's not to beat yourself up, because we do our best not to beat ourselves up, especially when wow, that was a magical moment. How silly of me. Why didn't I acknowledge that and grab onto it, you know? But the thing is that you say, okay, so exactly, you ask the question, as Nate just did, what's going to take for more of these opportunities, these possibilities, these moments of magic to show up, and what's it going to take for me to, to choose it? Now, a lot of times you cannot have an awareness around it until you choose it. So actually, that's the truth. You have to choose it first before you get the awareness. And then once you get the awareness, then you can go from there. Then you have, even a more abundant choices. I have a great question here. Let's see. Okay, we have the tendency when we live in if you believe in reincarnation, and even if you don't, let's say you did have other lifetimes, and you were very, very rich. Let's say when you were very rich in those lifetimes, you had really horrible experiences, and people took advantage of you. They stole from you. They treated you like crap, or you treated them like crap, and so you made a lot of decisions that you were never that you hated money because it created a lot of problems and havoc in your universe. And unfortunately, you carry those points of view into the next body that you come into. Okay, so let's say you did do that. So we're going to let's call this hatred of money abomination, right? Abomination means disgust, hatred, loathing. So I'm going to do a clearing with you. You can run this clearing on your own if you feel that you have a strong vibe around money that you don't like it, okay? That it's nasty, that it does horrible things. If you run this process 30 times a day for the next 30 days, I promise you that you will start to change your life around money. So here's the clearing. You can write this down. What generative energy, space, and consciousness, those are the things you create with, energy, space, and consciousness, could I be that would eliminate all abomination of abundance and money in my life? And everything that is, times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Wait a minute. What Gemini could I do that with? Yeah, no, everything that doesn't allow that to show up, sorry, my bad. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I'm going to ask it again. What generative energy, space, and consciousness could you be that would eliminate all abomination of abundance and money in your life? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so when running it yourself, you turn that to I. What generative energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would eliminate all abomination of abundance and money in my life? Great clearing, okay, really great clearing, very, very powerful if you have a strong reaction around money, around, you know, hating money.
Well, and also, like, not just hating money, but having a judgment of abundant or wealthy people, because a lot of us look at rich people and it's a little bit jealousy, but that's also the element of, like, I would never want to be one of those assholes. Like, they're being too hedonistic. They're spending, you know, $10,000 at the bar in a night. Like, who would ever want to be that? It's like this guy right here. Sign me up. You have to get over the judgment of those people, because, you know, you see the $400,000 car drive down the street, and what's your response to that? And look at the way that you respond to those kind of people or those kind of vehicles, and what's your judgment that goes along with seeing that extravagance? Like, are you asking what you could do to duplicate that, or are you asking, or just judging, I guess? Yeah.
Right, right, exactly. And once again, when you do have those barriers go up, like judgment, that's when you say, okay, barriers down, I destroy that. Pod poc that. You can say pod poc, it'll still work. Pod poc that. P-O-D-P-O-C. Point of destruction, point of creation. Okay? Once again, you can go to theclearingstatement.com to have a better idea of what that clearing statement does, but it is a very powerful thing, even if you just say pod poc. That's how powerful it is. Okay, here's one more. What energy, space, and consciousness am I refusing to choose that, if I would choose it, would destroy and create all unwillingness to receive in my life and manifest as ridiculous abundance of joy? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Great. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Ridiculous abundance of joy. Do you ever notice that if someone is joyful, people look at them as though they're crazy? But if someone is miserable and complaining and, you know, just like, you know, always grumpy, they're okay. They get a lot of attention. But someone who's joyous and happy and feeling good, people look at you as if you're nuts. What kind of crazy world do we live in, people? What is up with that? Somebody tell me. I think all of you need a session with Nate. Nate has magic hands. He has this amazing ability to heal with his hands. If you are going through anything, you need to see this man, because he is awesome. And I wish he would do more of it. Plug, plug.
Yeah, well,
talk about abundance.
Let's not discuss people actually doing and being what they could do and be, and having that relate to abundance.
Yes.
Let's go back to the question you just asked.
Okay, we're gonna slide over that for now, but we're gonna get back onto Nate on that eventually.
Okay, no, your question though is directly applicable to this. This is what energy, space, and consciousness am I refusing to choose? Like,
that if I would choose it,
there you go,
would destroy and uncreate all unwillingness to receive in my life. Great, great point. Really, really good. Because that willingness to receive, like you judge someone who has the Maserati, but if someone gave you a Maserati, would you receive it?
Who's it from?
You probably wouldn't get, no one would probably even give you a Maserati because you're not willing to receive it.
Right, you're not, yeah. That's exactly right, because then you would, yeah, because you judge yourself for getting sort of a free car. You're like, well, I didn't deserve it, I didn't work for it, instead of just being like, hot shit, I got a car.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and how many other Maseratis, let's call them Maseratis, but let's call it anything else that you desire, anything else that you've been asking for. How can it show up in your life if all you have is barriers up around judging abundance, or judging prosperity in others, or judging that someone has more than you? Those kind of judgments are really just killing you. They're affecting you, because the other person who has all that, they don't have problems with receiving.
Yeah.
Obviously, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to start to wind down today. Are you living? I keep forgetting the question that I even called this this session today. Are you living a life of abundance? There it is.
There we go.
Okay. So, how much more of a life of abundance would you like to live? Everything that doesn't allow that to show up in your universe, and everywhere that you have created barriers, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that, and allow yourself to receive more? Receive, I don't know, 10% more, 20%,
20.
20. Okay, we're not going to go beyond 20, because obviously you don't care. You don't really want that much of abundance. Everything that is times a godzillion. Destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot, box, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wonderful. I think some people might receive a good 10% more. Okay, people, I remind you, 10% to the Church of You every day. Gratitude. Wake up every day in gratitude. Name 5 things when you wake up in the morning that you are grateful for. And I would add 5 things that you're grateful for about yourself. Okay? Really, start to think about how cool you are. Yeah. Okay, and $5, $10, $20, whatever you want to leave around in some public area, in the pockets of a pair of new jeans, under the fruit in your favorite market. Doesn't matter where you leave it. Just leave money somewhere. Let the universe know that you have so much money. You can leave money to allow people to know that the world is abundant. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And if you've been practicing the money game, I've been doing the money game. I have done so much research around amazing organizations that are doing things for animals, that are doing things for holistic cancer research, that are doing things for relieving the planet of plastic, and research around recycling plastic. It's been amazing. $1,000 a day, do the money game. It will open your mind to what is really going on out there. It's quite remarkable. Okay, and what else? Oh, yes. I want to plug Dances with Riches. There's a class in Las Vegas. I will be home on May 28th in Las Vegas. Just go to pointofviewpointofme.com and you will find it. Or you can go to Cass and Consciousness, I think is the name of the group, on Facebook, and you'll have all the information, because there's also a 3-day body class. It's Memorial Day weekend, May 29th, the 30th, and the 31st in Las Vegas. I believe it's going to be downtown, but just get in touch with me, Karen at pointofviewpointofme.com. It'll be written below. There'll be a whole blog around this whole idea of abundance that I'm going to be writing today, and about this YouTube presentation. So I thank Nate Kent for showing up with us today and sharing his abundance and his beautiful, beautiful being with us. We are truly grateful for you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Nate, are you there? It looks like you're stuck. Anyway, thank you, Nate. We're going to do the money dance now. Everybody get ready. We are going to... The money is here. It's come from, you had no idea it was coming, because it's coming from a direction that you're allowing yourself to receive. And here it is. It's in an envelope. It's a check for a shitload of money, excuse my language. And we are going to do it. Here it comes. Thank you, Nate. Do the money dance. Woo! Oh no, it stopped.
Oh, you guys, this is amazing.
We'll see you. Bye, everybody. Have an amazingly abundant day.
Give me all you got, don't hold it back.